Hello, everyone, and welcome to our English sleep learning conversation. I'm Sam.
And I'm Nora. Tonight we're going to have a relaxing chat about everyday English conversations.
That's right. We'll be talking about shopping, ordering food at restaurants, and using polite expressions. Just lie back, relax, and listen to our conversation.
So, Sam, I went shopping yesterday. It was such a nice experience.
Oh, really? Where did you go shopping, Nora?
I went to the local market downtown. I needed to buy some fresh fruits and vegetables for the week.
That sounds lovely. What did you say to the shop owner when you arrived?
Well, first I said good morning with a smile. It's always nice to be polite, you know?
Absolutely. Good morning is such a friendly way to start any conversation. What did you buy?
I picked up some beautiful red apples, but I wasn't sure about the price, so I asked the owner, "How much are these apples, please?"
That's perfect. How much are these is such a useful phrase when shopping.
Exactly. And when he told me the price, I said, "That sounds good," and then asked, "Could I have 2 pounds of apples, please?"
Could I have is such a polite way to ask for something. I use that phrase all the time when I'm shopping too.
Yes, it's much nicer than just saying, "I want." Being polite makes shopping so much more pleasant.
I completely agree. What else did you buy at the market?
I also looked at some fresh carrots. I asked the vendor, "How much is this?" while pointing to the carrots.
How much is this? That's another great way to ask about prices. Very simple and clear.
Right. And when I was ready to pay, I said, "Thank you very much," to the shop owner. He was so kind and said, "You're welcome," with a big smile.
Thank you very much and you're welcome. These are such important phrases for being polite in any situation.
Speaking of being polite, Sam, I also went to a restaurant after shopping. The experience reminded me how important it is to use polite language when ordering food.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love hearing about restaurant experiences. Where did you go?
I went to a small, cozy cafe near the market. When I walked in, I said, "Good afternoon," to the waiter.
Good afternoon. Another lovely greeting. It shows respect and friendliness right from the start.
Exactly. The waiter was very friendly and showed me to a nice table by the window. When he brought the menu, I said, "Thank you."
It's amazing how a simple thank you can make such a difference. What did you decide to order?
Well, I looked at the menu for a few minutes. The soup looked delicious, so when the waiter came back, I said, "Could I have the tomato soup, please?"
Could I have again? You really know how to be polite when asking for things. That's such good English.
Thank you, Sam. I also wanted to try their sandwich, so I asked, "How much is the chicken sandwich?" because I wanted to know the price before ordering.
That's very smart. How much is the chicken sandwich is perfect for asking about prices at restaurants.
The waiter told me the price, and it was reasonable, so I said, "I'll have the chicken sandwich too, please."
I'll have is another excellent way to order food. Very natural and polite.
When the food arrived, it looked and smelled wonderful. I told the waiter, "This looks delicious. Thank you very much."
What a nice thing to say. Complimenting the food and saying thank you very much. The waiter must have been very happy.
He smiled and said, "You're welcome. Enjoy your meal." It made me feel so welcome in the restaurant.
Enjoy your meal is such a warm expression, and you're welcome. We've heard that phrase a few times today. It's so important in polite conversation.
You know, Sam, during my meal, I realized how much I use the word "excuse me" in daily life. It's such a helpful phrase.
Oh yes, excuse me is incredibly useful. When do you use it most often?
Well, at the restaurant, I needed to get the waiter's attention to ask for more water. I said, "Excuse me, could I have some more water, please?"
Perfect example. Excuse me followed by could I have? That's such polite English.
And when I was leaving the restaurant, I needed to walk past another table. I said, "Excuse me," quietly to the people sitting there, and they smiled and moved their chairs a little.
That's so considerate. Excuse me shows respect for other people. It's one of the most important polite expressions in English.
Before I paid the bill, I asked the waiter, "How much is everything?" because I wanted to know the total cost.
How much is everything? Another great way to ask about the total price. Very clear and simple.
When I paid, I made sure to say, "Thank you very much for the wonderful meal." The waiter looked so pleased.
What a beautiful way to end the meal. Thank you very much with a specific compliment. That's excellent English and very kind.
And he replied, "You're welcome. Please come again soon." It made me feel like I want to return to that restaurant.
That's the power of polite conversation, Nora. When we use expressions like thank you very much, you're welcome, excuse me, and could I have, we create positive connections with people.
I love how we've been naturally using all these important phrases in our conversation today. How much is this and how much are these for shopping?
Yes, and could I have for politely asking for things, both in shops and restaurants.
Thank you very much and you're welcome for showing appreciation and responding kindly.
And excuse me for getting attention or being considerate of others. These phrases make English conversations so much more pleasant.
They really do, Sam. Whether you're shopping at a market, ordering food at a restaurant, or just talking with friends, these polite expressions help you communicate with kindness.
Well, Nora, this has been such a lovely conversation about everyday English. I hope our listeners enjoyed hearing about your shopping and restaurant experiences.
I hope so too, Sam. Thank you very much for this wonderful chat about polite English expressions.
You're welcome, Nora, and thank you to all our listeners for joining us tonight. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you in our next English conversation.
Good night, everyone. Keep practicing those polite expressions, and remember, a simple thank you can make anyone's day brighter.
Actually, Nora, before we finish, I'd love to hear about some other situations where polite expressions are so important. What about when you need help or directions?
Oh, Sam, that's such a great topic. Just last week, I was downtown and got a bit lost. I needed to ask someone for directions to the library.
That happens to everyone. How did you approach someone to ask for help?
Well, I saw a friendly-looking woman walking her dog, so I approached her politely and said, "Excuse me, could you help me, please? I'm looking for the public library."
Perfect. Excuse me, could you help me, please? That's such a polite way to get someone's attention. And then saying exactly what you need help with. What did she say?
She was so kind. She said, "Of course, the library is just 2 blocks down this street, then turn right at the traffic light. You can't miss it." And I replied, "Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it."
I really appreciate it is such a warm way to express gratitude. It's more personal than just saying thank you. People love to hear that their help is truly appreciated.
Exactly. And Sam, I've noticed that polite expressions are equally important when we're on the phone. Yesterday, I called to make a doctor's appointment.
Oh yes, phone conversations require extra politeness because people can't see our facial expressions or body language. How did you start the call?
When the receptionist answered, I said, "Good morning, I'd like to schedule an appointment with Dr. Johnson, please. Is there any time available next week?" I made sure to speak clearly and slowly.
I'd like to schedule and is there any time available? These are perfect phrases for making appointments. And you're absolutely right about speaking clearly on the phone.
The receptionist was very helpful. She said, "Let me check our schedule for you." After a moment, she offered me a time slot, and I said, "That works perfectly. Thank you for fitting me in."
Thank you for fitting me in shows such appreciation for the receptionist's help. It makes the whole interaction feel more personal and friendly.
You know, Sam, I also used polite expressions when I went shopping at the bookstore last weekend. I was looking for a specific book but couldn't find it on the shelves.
A bookstore. That's a wonderful place to practice English politely. How did you ask the staff for help finding your book?
I approached one of the employees and said, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a book called English Conversations for Daily Life. Do you have it in stock?" She was so friendly and helpful.
Do you have it in stock is the perfect way to ask if a store has what you're looking for. What did the employee say?
She said, "Let me check our computer system for you." After searching, she told me, "We don't have it on the shelf right now, but I can order it for you. It would arrive in about a week." I said, "That would be wonderful. Could you please order it for me?"
Could you please order it for me is another beautiful example of polite English. The word please makes all the difference in how we sound when we ask for help.
She took down my contact information and said, "I'll call you as soon as it arrives." I thanked her and said, "I really appreciate your help. You've been so kind." Before leaving, I also said, "Have a wonderful day."
Have a wonderful day is such a lovely way to end any interaction. It leaves people with positive feelings and shows that you care about their well-being.
You know, Sam, I also remember using polite expressions when I went shopping for clothes last month. I needed to try on some items, and asking for help in clothing stores can be quite different from other shops.
That's so true. Clothing stores have their own special vocabulary and situations. What happened when you needed to try something on?
Well, I found a beautiful dress that I liked, but I wasn't sure about the size. I approached the sales assistant and said, "Excuse me, could I try this dress on, please? And do you have it in a size medium?" She was very helpful.
Could I try this on, please? And do you have it in a different size? These are essential phrases for shopping for clothes. What did the sales assistant do?
She said, "Of course, let me check if we have your size." She brought me the dress in medium and said, "The fitting room is right over there. Take your time." I said, "Thank you so much. You're very kind."
Take your time is such a considerate thing to say for a sales assistant. It shows they want you to feel comfortable and make the right choice.
After trying on the dress, I realized it was perfect. When I came out of the fitting room, I told her, "This fits perfectly. I'd like to buy it, please." She seemed genuinely happy that I found something I loved.
"I'd like to buy it, please" is the perfect way to express your decision to purchase something. It's clear and polite. I bet she was pleased to help you find exactly what you needed.
Oh, Sam, I just realized we should also talk about using polite expressions on public transportation. Just this morning on the bus, I had several opportunities to practice courteous English.
Oh, absolutely. Public transportation is full of situations where polite expressions make everyone's journey more pleasant. What happened on the bus this morning?
Well, first, when I got on the bus, I said good morning to the bus driver. Then I needed to get to the back of the bus, but there were people standing in the aisle. So I said, "Excuse me, may I get through, please?"
"May I get through, please" is such a courteous way to ask people to move. It's much nicer than trying to push past someone without saying anything. People appreciate that politeness.
Exactly. And when I found a seat, there was an elderly gentleman standing nearby. I stood up and said, "Would you like to sit down, sir?" He was so grateful and said, "That's very kind of you, thank you."
"Would you like to sit down" shows such thoughtfulness and respect. Offering your seat to someone who needs it more is one of the most beautiful examples of everyday kindness.
And when it was time for me to get off the bus, I needed to get the driver's attention. So I said, "Excuse me, could you please stop at the next station?" He nodded and said, "Of course, I'll announce it for you."
That's perfect. "Did you please stop at the next station" is clear and polite. It's wonderful when bus drivers are helpful like that. Before you got off, did you thank him?
Of course. When I was getting off, I made sure to say, "Thank you very much. Have a great day." It's such a small gesture, but I always feel good when I take the time to thank people who help us in our daily lives.